But the NFL market is extremely liquid, which means you guys will take bigger bets, but you guys take the biggest bets in town. Now, I get it. If someone comes up and you can tell they don't know anything, you're going to take big bets. But what is the posted limit? If the most respected guy in town comes up with a couple bricks of cash, how much can he bet based on the posted limit?
So we have what we call house limits. To your point, posted limits. That's anybody, stranger off there, anybody who walks in the door. We give higher limits, obviously, to VIP clients. But to your point, it just depends on the liquidity in the market. For NFL sides, it's $100,000. Walk in the door, you can bet $100,000 on an NFL side from Wednesday of game week on. And it's $50,000 college football sides. Same thing, NBA, $50,000.
50,000 NBA sides?
Yeah.
What time of the day? All right, 4 o'clock Pacific, let's say games start tipping. At what point do you go to 50,000 on NBA sides?
I think noon that day, noon game day.
Actually, what I want to talk about is banning players. So Fez, and again, we're just going to tell the truth. If people don't like it, well, that's tough on them. Is like a place like the Stations, right? So big group of sports books and well, it's all the same book, really. Just Sunset Station, Green Valley Ranch. I can give reviews of the buffets if you want as we go down the list here. Is you're restricted. How are you restricted at Sunset or at the Station?
Yeah, they're very nice to me, and they let me know.
Listen, now he's saying, I'm going to tell the facts, but I'm going to hope they don't make it worse.
I can bet every game, and I can bet the house limits. I just have to do it all at the same time, one trip to the window per day.
All right, so they don't want you to be able to see, they just ticked up, 5 minutes before a game to 7.5. They don't want you to gobble that up.
Don't want me cherry picking the soft lines, yes.
All right, now William Hill, another big book in town. They have a big European presence. And from what I feel, the European books are very aggressive over there.
I'm not allowed to bet there.
William Hill in Europe, or you're talking
William Hill here, I'm not allowed to bet there.
So is that because you're a bookmaker or just because of your results?
That I think they throw at anyone who's sharp, and I don't know that I'm necessarily sharp, but I just think I get associated with
you're
being
sharp enough to be on the Dream Pod. The false modesty doesn't go here. And Fez, what about you at William Hill?
Yeah, I'm on the barred list also.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm the only guy can bet at William.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be a runner for you guys, maybe. But there you go. That's an interesting example where they're just saying, forget about it. We're not interested. Now, at CG Technology and you guys are, at the M, at Venetian, at what's the other big one?
Cosmopolitan, Palazzo, the Palms. Those are kind of some of the bigger ones. Then we have Silverton, Tropicana, Hard Rock.
So many locations around town. Is there anyone that is limited in any way? Is there anyone that can't play the house limits?
The only time we go after players to limit them or even ban them is if the only bets they make are scalps, or if B, they try to take...
Why would that bother you, though? If you're putting that number out there, that's you saying you want to take a bet before you move
Sure,
the line.
we just limit them. If you're only going to bet scalps, it's fine. We don't kick you out.
Okay.
Most places kick you out. We just limit you. So we know, all right, when a scalp comes in, this is what it's going to be for. Because they normally make the same bets every time, whatever they can.
There are guys that only bet when, Kyrie Irving is out for the Cavs. Boom, like clockwork. Matty sees those bets.
Which that's slightly different. I mean, let's get the terminology straight. That is, let's say getting ahead of information where a scout might be a game got hit. You're a little behind. You're 40 seconds behind on the money line, and they're grabbing that money line.
If the only thing you ever play is scalps or advantage plays, will probably set you a limit. And I'll say this: none of those.
What do we define as advantage? Every play Fez makes is an advantage.
So you haven't made a play in 2 months.
Okay.
To Fez's point, all of a sudden Kyrie's out, and we're 30 seconds late.
It's like a rogue play.
Yeah,
a rogue number.
Yeah,
that they're okay. But advantage is in. But you've got guys that have won every year for like 5 years that are still there.
We took the biggest limits here, anywhere that I ever knew, from the most famous sports bettor ever, who doesn't even bet anymore.
With the BW initials, as I'll say, Matty won't. Okay, now here is the question. So those winners, do you limit them below house, or they get house?
Normally they get house on that sport, right?
Someone's listening saying normally, what does that mean? Like,
so there's, again, as long as you're a normal player, you play every day, you play even regularly.
And your rationale is that since you're taking the biggest, and correct me on this if I'm wrong, since you're taking the biggest limits, that means that people aren't going to necessarily, the big bettors aren't going to want to try to fake, dummy up the line through you, because why dummy up through the biggest, limits? Because if they come in at half limit, you're not going to take it as seriously when they bet limits often. So it's more expensive to dummy up the lines through CG. Thus, they're not going to do that as much. And you figure the cost of taking that crack at the limit, you gain enough knowledge because you feel good that it's legit plays, that it's worth it.
And not only the knowledge we gain, but we have the highest recreational players in town. And when you have recreational players that have been known, they tweet out their tickets of 7-figure bets, it's nice to have the guys that that'll come in and take you off some of that all the time too. So the sharps can be advantageous to the books if you manage them and work together with them properly.